Yo, what's good, YouTube? Dark Black Crow here with another video, and this video is going to be about the battle between Set and Horus. So, how it starts off is Osiris was brothers with Set, and Set's wife, Nephthys, tricked Osiris into falling asleep with her. And so they slept together, and with Set, he had found this out, and Osiris apologized, and he was very raged and angry, and his rage grew so bad that the sandstorms couldn't stop him, and the wind was just blowing. And so one day, Set had invited Osiris to a feast. You know, you hear about the Jesus feast, just like that. You know, where they sit around the table and they eat together, all the good delicacies. And Set went behind Osiris's back, and he turned on him. And Set the whole time was planning to kill Osiris, and he did. He cut Osiris's body up into pieces, and he scattered them all over Egypt. And when Isis heard about this, she was devastated. She was crying, and she wanted her husband back. And so Anubis, the Egyptian god Anubis, she called upon him. And Anubis had resurrected Osiris. He mummified his body, and his body was back to normal, and he made him complete and whole again. And along with that, Sobek tried to eat one of Osiris's body parts because he thought it looked so good and it smelled great. And for that, Sobek got a punishment, and he got his tongue cut off. And that's because God was not appreciative of what Sobek did, because that was his brother. That was one of his brothers. And there's a lot behind the family tree in Egypt. But so Osiris and Isis decided that they needed someone to defeat Set so they can have the rule over Egypt again. And so they did their thing, and they conceived Horus, the falcon god Horus. And with that being said, Horus was determined. Just like if you see Goku or Naruto in Dragon Ball Z and Naruto, he was determined to take his land back. And so Horus was training with his mom, and at even one part, Horus got mad at his mom, and he cut his mom's head off. But Anubis, as always, healing everybody, mummified her body and healed her. And that's also how many people say that she got the cow head. The cow head and everything around that. So, with that being said, Horus was finally complete with his training for years upon years, and he went up to Set, and they got into a battle. And this battle lasted for a very long time, and Thoth was the judge of it. And they were battling, and at one part, Set had cut Horus's eye, and Horus had no left or right eye. And he hid for a little bit, trying to figure out what to do because his eye was gone. And it turns out that he went to the Egyptian god Thoth, and Thoth healed his vision. He gave him the sun and the moon as eyes. And after that, Horus went back to Set from his hiding spot, and he was battling Set again. Like I said, this battle lasted for years upon years. And it was a very long and hard battle, and they were just going at each other with swords, power, destruction, trying to kill each other. And you can even call them some crazy people because, man, they were going crazy at each other. And at the end of all this, Horus and Set had finally been done with their battle. There was no necessary one that killed one another, but Thoth was the judge of the battle. And Horus was declared champion by Thoth. So Horus won the battle, and he finally ruled Egypt, and everything was back to peaceful and normal. And that's also where you get the Lion King. The Lion King, Simba has to avenge his father and take over the throne. You know what I'm talking about? And you can even decode it from Egyptian gods. The Lion King. You know, you have Mufasa, Osiris, Simba, Horus, what's her name? Isis, Sarabi, Set, Scar, Anubis, Kovu, and so on and so on. Thoth, Rafiki, and everything around that. And they throw this in our face because they know we don't know the truth, and they just put it in our face like we're stupid. That's what the elites do. They create this kind of stuff to make us look dumb. But we're waking up, the chosen ones are coming back, and it's been that way since 2020, when the dimensional shift happened. And with Horus ruling over Egypt, he had all the delicacies in the world, he had all the jewelry, and people praise his name. Everybody praised his name. That's why you see the crown over his head in the hieroglyphic, because Horus was world champion, and that's his champion crown. The white one, what I think is white and red, I forgot, but I know it's white, and it has a little, but yeah, that battle lasted for a very long time, but Horus was world champion, and good has taken over again. That's also why you see all the good in the movies battling the evil, but the good always wins. That's where they get it from Horus and Set. Like I said, they know the truth, but they just throw it in our face like we're stupid because they know that we don't know it. And that's where they get their ideas from, because God is appreciative of Egypt, and not everybody is chosen, and this is probably their last life. They'll never have a life in heaven, so they want to mock us, chosen ones, and try and destroy our lives. And that's why you got to watch out for who you're around, man, because these people try to throw you off every day, and sometimes it works because you don't know as much. But when you start doing the research, you start learning, and you start gaining knowledge over these things so you can combat it in a great way. But that was a battle between Set and Horus, and Set eventually turned into a good soul. Still evil, but at the same time he kept his distance. And he was helping Ra on the Sunboat, the Bark of Millions, to destroy Apophis and return the sun back to its flying high state in the sky. Because Apophis tried to devour it, but that didn't work out because Ra and Set were so powerful that they stopped them every night. Every night, Ra would go into the underworld, and he would battle Apophis so that the sun would rise again before Apophis tried to devour it. But going back to the battle of Set and Horus, yeah, Horus was champion. And Horus is a very strong god, and in my opinion, he's still around to this day. He rules Egypt spiritually because they had to leave the physical realm and go into the spirit realm because they don't want us, because we have a purpose on earth, and they want us to understand that along with God. And don't think that God wasn't watching, because God was watching the battle, and he's the one that punished Sobek. And that's why, you have evil in this world, because the gods taught us evil. Also because of Adam and Eve, but we have more knowledge on evil and good, because the gods are teaching us spiritually, and we're learning from them, and we're gaining our knowledge, and we're bringing our knowledge to the people. And that's what you should do. A prophet, you don't have to necessarily be a prophet, but anybody can be a prophet. Just go and speak your mind about the word of God and teach people things that they never knew before. And don't try to change their opinions, because I saw that doesn't work, because I tried it before. But just give them insight on what you believe and let them go off their own thoughts. But that's the end of the video. I just thought I'd bring that up because I thought that was an interesting battle of when I heard it. And it was, man, that battle lasted for a very long time. But Horus was crowned champion, and good resides over evil. That's why you always see that in the movies. But besides that, that's the end of the video. Dark Black Crow out. Peace, love, and positivity, y'all. I'll catch you later. Love y'all.